I'm out in space.
Good. Tell me what you see out in space. Tell me what you're feeling. Tell me what you see around.
Um, I can sense that I'm kind of hovering above the earth.
Very good. And how are you feeling in this space?
A little unsure.
Very good. Let's continue to move forward in your journey and look around you. Tell me what you can see or sense.
I feel almost like the moon is pulling me towards her.
Very good. Follow the moon and go towards the moon. Tell me how it feels as you begin to get drawn closer to the moon. What's happening?
It kind of feels like I have an energetic cord around my waist. It's like I'm facing the earth, but she's pulling me from behind, and I feel almost like a octopus or something really, whereas my legs and arms are just kind of flailing in front of me.
Yes.
I almost feel like I don't have, or that my bones have become like gelatinous almost.
Very good. And stay with that as you're pulled towards that light of the moon, as you're floating, being pulled. Tell me what's happening now.
I'm just noticing how my limbs kind of almost kind of blow and float in the wind.
Very good. And now, as you continue to get pulled towards the moon, do you have limbs anymore?
Kind of feel like I can only just the closest thing that I can describe is like an octopus, but
Hmm.
almost as if they were. It's not an octopus. It's like fabric almost.
Yes. And what happens next?
I'm just being pulled in.
Very good. Go with it and see where you in where it taking you, where you're going. As you move towards the light, is it getting brighter?
Now I feel like I'm being pulled inside the core of the moon.
Very good. Go with it. Tell me when you get in there.
It, I can sense that I'm in like a chamber
Yes.
inside. It's kind of dark,
Hmm.
um, but it feels like there's some type of dim light source.
Yes.
Mm,
Where are
but
you seeing that light source? Hmm.
it feels like bioluminescence.
Yes. Very good. Tell me more.
Um, it
Inside this
almost
chamber, are you getting pulled towards the light?
No, I'm just inside, kind of in the middle of this chamber.
Very good. And you describe this chamber.
Um, it's like a um, semicircular structure.
Yes.
So the floor is flat, but everywhere around me is like the top. I'm in almost like the top half of the circular structure,
Yes.
and it's made of panels of what seem like glass, square panels of glass, almost like a church.
Hmm.
And it feels like the bioluminescence runs between each. It's like it's a living structure. It's not. It's the entire structure is living.
Yes.
And the bioluminescence, whatever causes it, it runs between in the joints that connect each of these panels. And it's like there are these strings of light that kind of moves along each one. It's blue. It's like little blue lights, and it kind of moves along through each of these panels and some type of pattern.
Yes. And what are you noticing about yourself as you're inside of this chamber? As these lights hit you, as they touch you or you see them, are you feeling any difference?
I just feel in awe of the fact that this structure is alive.
Yes.
It seems, at first glance, it seems like something that's artificial or man made, but it's not. It's a living being.
Yes. And let's take a look. Look down at your feet. Do you have feet?
Oh, they look like I'm seeing like three toes that
Yes.
they almost look like bird like.
Very good. And look up at your legs. Describe your legs and your body.
They're very skinny. They're,
Hmm.
again, kind of like bird,
Yes.
kind of, they seem almost like a stork's legs, but they also feel a little bit frogish, so maybe slightly reptilian.
Hmm. And look up at your body. What does your body look like? And your hands. Go ahead and look at your arms and your hands and your body and describe that.
My arms, I can't see, I can just sense my arms feel also very much like the legs, very, very bony, like, huh, almost insectoid as well. It's very interesting. I'm just getting all these different references.
Yeah, keep with it. You're doing a beautiful job. Take a look at your hands. Concentrate on your hands. What do your hands look like?
Some type of pincers.
Some type of pinchers, yes?
Pincer, yeah.
And what color is your skin?
It's like brownish green.
A brownish green. And now imagine that you're holding a mirror to your face. Describe what your face looks like.
I'm a mantis.
Oh, very good. Describe the head of the mantis.
It's triangular, like heart shaped, very
Yes.
big eyes.
Hmm.
Um, and the eyes have like geometric structures within them.
Very good.
And there are like pincers at the mouth as well.
Yes.
Mm,
Very good.
antennae.
Hmm. And is there identity as a male or female?
Mm, no, it feels
There's,
none slash both.
yes, very good. So let's see why it is that you're in that chamber. What do you know about being in that chamber? You will have a knowing. Three, two,
It's the
one.
ship. It's the ship.
It's the ship. Very good. And are you in that ship alone?
Yes,
Yes. And what is your role as you're in that ship? What is it that you're doing?
being.
Being very good. And is this so this is your personalized ship?
Yes.
Very good. Describe your ship. Can you see out of your ship?
Not at the moment.
Okay, very good. And let's see what happens next in this lifetime. One, two, three, be there now. Now what's happening?
The ship is leaving the core of the moon.
It's leaving what?
The core of the moon.
It's leaving the core of the moon. Very good. Tell me more.
The structure can change. The structure can become smaller. It can take on any shape.
Your ship.
These, so, well, inside the core of the moon, it was a semicircle with a flat base. Can change into cylindrical form to burrow out. It can take any form. It morphs in the way that, similar to how octopuses can change colors to
Mhm.
adapt to a particular location. It can shift forms.
Very good.
The
So,
bioluminescence is what powers it. That's the energy source.
mhm,
It's like the blood. It's the lifeblood of the ship.
very good. And the ship, how does it stay on course? Are you directing it are you the one directing it? Or tell me how it stays on its course.
The ship has its own intelligence. It's connected to my intelligence.
Yes,
As I choose the destination, it bees there.
very good. And where is it that you're heading now? It's possible
We're wanting to head to Sirius.
to Sirius. Very good. And while you're traveling to Sirius, let's find out a little bit more about is that your base? The moon is the base, the core of it? Or were you just a visitor there? Or is that the origin of where you stay?
The ship is the home. The ship is where we stay.
Mm-hmm. And
So we travel and always have that base. These are just camping destinations.
very good. So now let's go in the ship as you're heading towards Sirius and tell me more. Do you know the purpose for going to Sirius? What is your task at hand?
Um,
You will have a knowing.
just a moment. I'm experiencing a shift in energy.
Describe that to
There
me.
are
Mhm.
there are records to explore in Sirius.
Yes,
It's relevant to me.
yes. What do you mean relevant to you? Is it about you?
They're relevant to Ava.
Yes. Very good. Let's go look at those records. Tell me when you
She is me. I am her, but we are different emanations of the same.
Yes,
We are different dimensional emanations.
yes. But let me know when you get to the records. And
Her body is calibrating.
very good. Now that you're calibrating,
Mm.
tell me what happens next. How is it that you look at these records?
They're within the crystalline structure of the body,
Yes,
which is why she's calibrating.
very good. Let me know when you've completed that calibration.
To her, it feels as if she's in a slingshot that's being rotated around or orbited around Sirius.
Mm-hmm.
The
Does it feel?
energetic pull of Sirius as she's experiencing this
Yes,
is what is not only calibrating the body, but through the process of calibration, it's accessing the cellular records.
very good.
Okay.
So tell me what,
Sirius has a blue energy.
yes,
It's like an electric blue light. The color frequency is also contributing to that. Mm.
tell me more. What's happening for you now?
The calibration is almost complete.
Very good.
She feels not only as if she's rotating around the planet, but also undulating at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason she feels that these feelings is because as the frequency shifts to meet the frequency of Sirius, as it rises, initially it feels very jarring, but as the frequency rises to match that of Sirius, it then begins to settle.
Yes,
Once she's on the same vibrational wave, the undulation stops. She's at the end of the undulation. In the same way that a tuning fork, as it undulates, it eventually tapers off.
mm-hmm. And what are you noticing as your frequency is getting adjusted to Sirius?
I notice a sensation in my stomach.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
What does your stomach feel like?
It's not quite nausea. It almost feels like pressure. Pressure.
Mm-hmm.
There's a pressure on my stomach,
Yes,
in the entirety of my torso.
yes.
Feels like it's moving into the chest as well.
So you will have a knowing. Is your body going through adjustments that will be permanent for you? Are you getting a tune up, if you will?
Yes.
And you will have a knowing. This frequency change, what is it doing for your body?
It is expelling cells
Mm-hmm.
that are holding on to memories that are of a previous being. In other words,
Yes.
these experiences that she experienced in her childhood are of another being. She's no longer that being. She's no longer that person. She has shifted out of that reality, but has been holding on to cells that, in a way, in a sense, have already withered and died, but haven't been expelled from the system.
Beautiful. What a great way to clear that. What are you feeling in your body now?
Now there's an undulation again,
Mm-hmm.
which is almost dizzying.
Yes.
It feels like I'm being spun.
Mm-hmm.
Now around, instead of initially I felt like I was being spun around Sirius, and now it feels like I'm being spun around my own core,
Yes.
which is now settled.
It's settled down now.
Mm.
So look at the mantis now that you can match the frequency, and ask, what is this doing for you? I hear that it's eliminating dense energies that no longer serve you, the memories and beliefs. Ask the mantis what else this is doing for you.
I'm being given a visual image of uh, breaking chains.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's a breaking away from the chains of memories,
Yes.
memories of experiences that are no longer in service, once were, and now are no longer in service.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. And ask the mantis that you're being pulled to move. Is this upgrade to help you in that move?
Yes, this upgrade is a springboard for the move.
Yes. Ask the mantis to help you understand what it is that you do in the space where you will be going. What is the purpose of your moving?
To be more of yourself,
Yes.
to be more of your authentic self, to
Yeah.
express more of your core being.
Very good.
The energy in Mexico, in particular the Yucatan,
Mm-hmm.
is a vortex of transformation. It's where the meteor hit the earth that extinguished the dinosaurs.
Interesting.
It is a very potent portal.
Will this upgrade?
The
Oh, go ahead.
the there this area of the earth is surrounded by fragments of rocks, debris from the meteor which was a piece of a planet.
Mm-hmm.
So it is, in a way, a place through extreme conditions. Two planets merge to become one. And that energy is a very powerful energy in this portion of the world.
Beautiful.
It represents not only transformation, but it represents the coming together of all aspects of self.
Beautiful.
It's a unifying energy.
Very good. And this mantis, this healing that you've had, is this somewhere that you've been before? Ask the mantis. Have you been there before?
Yes and no.
Ask him to explain that.
Mm. This physical being, this emanation of me as Ava has not been here before,
Mm-hmm.
but fractals of the same being, other dimensional aspects of me have.
Have other aspects of you also had this cleansing upgrade?
Yes. When it reverberates through me, it reverberates through every aspect of me.
And so, in this frequency, you would be able to access other versions of who you are?
Yes.
Very good. Let's go look at a version of you as a healer, moving through time and space to another time and another place, to look at another version of you as a healer, an upgraded version of you as a healer, to see what the skill set is. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, be there now. Tell me, look down at your feet. Do you have feet?
Yes.
Describe your feet.
Mm. They are tan,
Mm-hmm.
solid, or girth. They have a lot of girth.
Are they made feminine or masculine?
Masculine.
Very good. And let's look up your legs and tell me, look up to your clothing. Tell me what it is you're wearing.
A type of skirt, loincloth,
Yes. And are you wearing a
leather, leather cloth,
mm-hmm. And look at your hands. Are you holding anything in your hands?
a stick,
A stick. Is there anything on the stick?
stone.
A stone. What color is that stone?
It's clear, whitish.
Mm-hmm. And imagine you're holding a mirror to your face. Describe what your face looks like.
Mm. Thick black eyebrows,
Mm-hmm.
pointed nose, strong jaw, black straight hair, long hair.
Very good. Let's see what your abilities are as a healer. Move to a scene where you have someone coming in for you to help. 3, 2, 1, be there now. Tell me what's happening. Tell me who comes for help and how it is that you help
An older woman.
them. Okay? And what's she asking of you?
She's suffering from a broken heart,
Ah,
loss, immense loss
yes,
of a child.
of a child. And how is it that you help her?
I see timelines. I see dimensions. I can see the dimensions. And so when she comes to me, I see the dimension of her where she's not suffering. I see the dimension of her where she's seen the beauty in the loss, where she understands the meaning of the loss in a way that is of highest service to her. And with my stone, it's like a wand.
Yes,
I take the stone end, the pointed end of the stone, and I put it on her heart. And it helps to pierce through the illusion of the dimension she's in and move into the dimension of the one that sees it of service.
beautiful.
I see the dimension, I hold it, and I help her to also see it and hold it and be it.
Yes, beautiful.
The stone. This is in the region of the Yucatan. The stone is one of the stones that emerged as a result of the extreme temperatures, the melting, the alchemization of two planets coming together. The stone is the product of that extreme force of energy fusing into one stone, two planets fusing into one. It is a portion of that. It is a very powerful stone.
Beautiful.
It's a
So,
very powerful stone because the energy that created it was an immense amount of energy.
yes. And how is it that you focus into this stone? Do you set intention into the stone? I heard you say you see the dimension, you hold the dimension in your mind's eye and help her see the dimension.
I do not channel into the stone. The stone has its own intelligence.
Yes.
I see the dimension that she's
Hmm.
desiring. I see that version of her already.
Hmm.
When the stone touches her heart, it pierces through the pain, the illusions, the fears within herself. It pierces through it so she can also see it. And
Beautiful.
then she chooses whether she wants to hold it, and
Very,
she can hold it,
very powerful.
and she can then be it.
So when you've completed this, tell me about the woman that
It's
she.
a very intense process energetically. So at first, she won't realize it. She will be disoriented, tired, very tired.
Hmm.
She will feel heavy almost initially as she calibrates to the energy. It's moving through dimensions very quickly in a way that's the energy of the stone creates a shift. It accelerates the shift from one dimension to another in a way that is faster than a human would on its own. So it can be disorienting at first. So she will be tired. But in the coming days, she will begin to feel as her body calibrates to those changes, she will begin to feel and sense as if she's awoken from a dream almost.
Very good.
She will not lose the memory of the loss. She will perceive it differently. She will begin to communicate with her child. She will feel her child with her in spirit. She becomes closer to her child in spirit. And then as she ignites that relationship with her child in a new and exciting way, she no longer feels the pain of the loss because she's come to realize that there was never a loss. It was just a transformation of energy.
That's beautiful. And so, Ava, I would like for you to go to this healer and ask him if he will help shift you into the dimension where you don't have the anxiety, where you bite your fingers, where you are not having headaches, neck ache, backache, where you are feeling that relationships are beautiful and safe and comfortable. I want you to hold the dimension, the changes you would like to see, and ask him if he can change you into the dimension where these issues are no longer. Tell me what he says.
He's giving me a chant. Kukulkan. This is his name. But it's also an embodiment. It's his name, but it's not individual to him. It's an archetypal energy.
Kukulkan.
Kulkulkan.
Kukulkan.
Kulkulkan. Kukulkan. No, I'm sorry. It's Kukulkan. Kukulkan.
Tell me what's happening.
Kukulkan.
Yes. Continue.
Kukulkan. 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 He's placing the tool on my heart.
Yes.
He's shown me the image of me. And he's just asking me to hold it.
Beautiful.
I see me with beautiful fingers that are just covered with delicious food. It's an energy of pleasure. It's just pleasure in every way. Just enjoying food, enjoying feeling the pleasure on my skin of the breeze, warm breeze as it blows. It's a vision of me finding pleasure in everything.
Yes.
And feeling bathed and nurtured by the sea. Touched by the sun.
Yes.
At one with the land and the plants and nature that surrounds me. It's just very intense connection to the earth and so much gratitude. That is energy that she can feel anywhere. However,
Yes.
it is very much amplified in this zone.
How about her sense of safety in relationships and her worthiness?
The connection with the earth provides the sense of safety that she seeks.
Yes.
Um, it Safety is within. She knows this. It is in being grounded with self. In this place, this particular location on Earth, the energetic qualities that it has help to amplify that sense of grounding, that sense of knowing of self. It is a deeper version, a deeper version, a deeper version.
Very good.
The current location has helped with that. This takes it further. This particular location is very much in alignment with the next steps
Yes.
of deepening, of knowing of self, of grounding into self. The nature there, the stones there, the energy of the rocks there are what provide this connection. The Mayans have set up temples in this area of the earth because it is a portal.
Beautiful.
Kukulkan is one of the Mayan gods, but he is an energy. He's a being and an energy, but there is a misconception that Kukulkan was a physical being. He was an energy that was channeled through the shamans.
Mm-hmm.
It is an archetypal energy, not a physical being.
Yes.
Kukulkan. As the name is said, it draws in that energy. It is the maternal aspect of Mother Nature.
Beautiful.
Kukulkan.
What relationship will Ava have with this Kukulkan energy when she is there? Will she use it for
Yes,
healing?
yes, yes. Through for her own personal journey, she will use it as a tool of transformation. She will also channel it into her art. Her art is always a reflection of her experience. So as she draws on and embodies the energy of Kukulkan, it then emanates out of her into her art.
And how does that affect other people who have that art?
They then draw on the energy of Kukulkan. They draw on the energetic imprint that she has created of the transformational process, of the process of deepening relationship with self.
Yes.
It is a tool, it is a portal for those who have it to step into deeper relationship with self. It is an energy of partnership of all aspects of self. Humans have, through the experiences that happen on Earth, through the dense dimensions on Earth, have fragmented their selves.
Yes.
The energy of Kukulkan, the energy of this particular place, this zone in the earth, is an energy of unification as the intense energetic frequency of two planets plummeting into each other and creating magma, new rock that merges together. That is the intensity of the energy of Kukulkan. It is an energy of immense unification. It is an energy of pulling together, fusing together, calling back all of the fragments of self into one being, into the energetic core of the body.
And by pulling this together, does the human then have more abilities of all these fractals of themselves?
There are no more fractals.
Yes.
It is all aspects of self are merged.
Beautiful. So is
They
it?
are, it does not mean that they do not experience negativity. It just, the human continues to have a human experience of contrasts. The human continues to experience negative experiences. But when all fragments are, when there is no longer fragmentation of the human psyche, there is a deep understanding, a deep knowing that every experience, every aspect of self is seen, is appreciated, is not banished, is accepted, is nourished. Even the negative aspects, even the shadow aspects, they are seen, they are loved, they are nourished, they are understood, they are comforted. That is the energy of Kulkulkan,
Beautiful.
is allowing all aspects of self to exist as one without any form of judgment of any aspect. A fragmented human will judge a negative thought, a negative emotion, an attempt to banish it, shame it.
So is this something that humans are moving towards when they talk about multidimensional? Is that bringing all of our
Yes,
fractals together? This is it.
yes, it is like a prism.
Yes.
If you can imagine when light hits a prism, a white light hits a prism, you have this in your science. And as it moves through a triangular prism, crystalline structure, it breaks the light into different colors.
Mm-hmm.
It is what humans have done is taken those individual colors and forgotten that they all emanate from one source.
Mm-hmm.
The multidimensional nature is to remember all of those different light sources are just a reflection of the one. It is as if humans have focused their attention on the different aspects. Their back is turned to where the light has entered, the unified light has entered. Remembering the multidimensional nature is just to turn around and see that the fragments, the fractals of light are all coming from one source. It is just an illusion because of the structure, the dense structure that the light moves through. That is like what happens on the earth. The earth is like the crystalline structure. The light moves through the earth, and the earth fragments the light. It does not, in a sense, fragment the light. It just creates a reflection of fragmentation.
Mm-hmm.
And in the human experience, the focus has been on the fragmentation. Returning to the multidimensional nature is just to turn around and see the light source.
So, how do other humans who've not had this experience of the stone in their heart move to the unity to bring their fractals back together?
It is a choice. It is a path. Humans who are waking up to the illusion of the fragment itself, humans who are exploring and accepting the different aspects of themselves without judgment, humans who are seeing their negative traits, their negative beliefs, and not judging, but asking it, what are you trying to show me? What are you reflecting back to me? Why has this emotion, why has this negative thought come up? Humans who begin to be curious about their thoughts, the whys, the what is the reason that I am having this thought? What is this thought trying to teach me about myself? The energy of curiosity about oneself is the process of turning around. With each question, it can be likened to each genuine question to understand oneself is like taking one minor step or shifting the angle in the process of turning around. It's like, in a way, as an analogy, the movement of the hands on a clock, 30 degrees, 30 degrees, 30 degrees, 30 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Each question is the process of turning and shifting towards the source of entry of the light, the unified source of light. And as you can imagine in this analogy, as you begin to turn 30 degrees, 30 degrees, 30 degrees from the peripheral vision, you begin to see the light. Whereas when your back is fully towards it, you don't see it at all.
Mm-hmm.
And as you shift more towards it, as you begin to notice it from the peripheral vision, it creates a sense of momentum. The pull of it is so strong that it accelerates once it moves into the peripheral vision.
Beautiful. And that's what we mean by know thyself.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Know thyself means be curious. Ask, why? Why did I have that thought? Where did that come from? Turning questions inward, understanding the motivations, understanding the trappings of the mind.
Yes, so many times we want to blame the other person, but that's just the projection of your mirror coming back to you.
Yes, the mind. The mind the human mind is a product of the dense crystalline structure of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
It is a necessary component of the three-dimensional experience. And it has mechanisms to maintain fractalization in a way through training, through many, many generations of human experience, through the collective experience. The mind, the faculties of the mind have been turned outward to focus on those things that seem to be outside of the human experience. But it is a very healing process when they are turned inwards.
Mm.
The focus of the tool is on the fractalized light. And when it is turned inwards, it unifies the fractals.
Beautiful. So, in this scenario, when I think of all the fractals of who we are, I also think of what we refer to as past life and other lifetimes. Is that also a part of this component? Like Ava going and seeing herself as a mantis and this healer. Are those fractals of who is, or is it more confined to our earthly journey?
The fractals are more confined to the earthly journey.
Okay.
That is a human 3D Terra. By Terra, we mean Earth experience.
Okay.
The Earth is the crystalline structure that causes the fragments. The
Okay.
mantis is not a being of the Earth.
Yes.
The mantis is another dimensional version of Ava,
Yes.
a parallel universal version of Ava,
Mm-hmm.
having an experience. It is, in a sense, the same soul having a different dimensional experience.
Okay. So that is not the fractals. You're referring to all the judgments we have on ourselves, all the. So if we,
The fractals are the human psyche.
yes. So if we rise above judging ourselves, does that bring unity as well?
Yes.
Very good.
When humans stop judging themselves, they unify the fractals. It's like as the one unified source of light moves through the crystalline structure of Earth and creates different fragments, as you would see white light converting into all of these different beautiful colors of the rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
The human experience is to identify with one of them, the red or the purple or the yellow, and see it in comparison to the others and totally forget that they are all one and the same. It creates comparisons of, oh, red looks so much better. Purple doesn't seem so great. Oh, that yellow, maybe if I were yellow, then this, then that, then my life wouldn't feel this way. It is a comparative process, but it is an illusion because it is the same light. It is one and the same.
Yes, that's interesting. And that's why we talk about self love, because when you're loving yourself, you're not judging yourself, you're accepting yourself.
Yes.
And it seems like that's why we talk about getting rid of the densities and the beliefs that no longer serve you, because those beliefs are judgment beliefs. And by rising above that, then we become our unified self.
Yes.
Is that correct?
And yes, and to clarify, to use the words you have used, to rise above is simply to become curious,
Mm-hmm.
to ask questions about self, to be open enough to explore the aspects of self that one does not like. We wish to explore an aspect with Ava that has been coming up recently.
Very good, Ava.
There is a very strong judgment and fear around drug addiction
Yes.
as she sees people who take very strong drugs. There is a very strong fear about the effect those drugs have.
Mm-hmm. And what is it that you wish for her to see? Would you like me to take her into that aspect?
Yes, yes,
Good. As we travel through time and space, go see that aspect so you understand it more completely. 3, moving through time and space. 2 and 1, be there now. Ava, take a look down at your feet. Tell me what you're wearing.
it's just blackness.
Take a moment. It will come to you. Allow yourself to travel through time and space to understand the root of this fear. Just scan your body, Ava. Where do you feel this fear about people who take the harsh drugs? Where do you feel that in your body?
I'm not feeling fear, which is strange.
Very good.
It is,
The understanding.
I am in the void. I'm in the void.
Okay.
I am in the void. And it is nothingness. It is blackness. It is silence.
Yes.
It is nothing. But it is also the birthplace of everything.
Yes.
The fear is of this place. But there is nothing to fear.
So, how does she rid herself of that belief?
By being here and by recognizing that what drug addicts are seeking is to escape from this,
Ah,
from the fear of this, from the fear of nothingness. But when you are in the void and you understand that nothingness is also everythingness, there is no reason to be afraid.
so how does that help us understand more of addicts? I'm a little.
Addicts,
Mhm.
addicts are escaping on a human psychological level. They are escaping.
Yes, I always.
However, at
Mm-hmm.
a higher understanding, from the understanding of the higher self of addicts, they are carving a path for themselves. It is a unique path. It is not a path that Ava has chosen, which is another reason why there is no need to fear it, but is a unique path of propulsion, of catalysm. They have chosen on a higher level to journey into the depths of their own darkness so that they can be propelled at a much higher speed into the light. It is not often the case that they do it in their lifetime, but they learn very great lessons from this experience.
Oh, that's a very interesting perspective.
The
So,
deeper one journeys into darkness, it is like equivalent to pulling a slingshot back.
mm-hmm.
The further you pull it back, the further the object goes. The further one pulls into darkness, it is a catapult into light.
Yes. So then the need that we feel to rescue the addict, help the addict, or or we wait till the addict asks to be rescued to get out of the darkness. Some addicts want to get out of that darkness, others
Yes.
don't. I guess that's just the choice
We, yes, we must provide the resources for them when they are ready,
to come back
but
up.
not push them. It is the choice they must make.
Yeah, that's what they always say about addiction. You have to wait till they're ready.
Yes.
Very interesting perspective to understand it. And then you don't have to judge it. I guess it's what it talks about. Is that the same thing when people are living in such horrific, dark conditions? We always hear that it's the choice that they make to be in those conditions,
It is a very deeply spiritual choice.
like in the middle of the wars and, the
Yes.
abductions and the slavery and the prisons and the
Yes.
whatever we want to judge is very bad. That's the soul's journey
Yes.
to
And it
travel.
is a master soul that chooses that.
Oh, that's very interesting. And that could help people stop judging good or
Yes.
bad.
It is a very powerful experience of mastery, which is why it is a master soul that chooses journeys of immense darkness.
It's very interesting. So as we go back with Ava and this ability her fractal has to help people get into different dimensions, it feels that on Earth, that it's opening up to humans to understand this is also a choice they have. We're calling it quantum jumping, we're calling it jumping timelines. Is that a skill set that humans are beginning to learn to change their perspective? Or is that, am I totally off base with this?
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. Just as your healer with the stone helped the old woman go into a different dimension where she was no longer suffering over the death of her child.
Hmm.
Humans are now, or perhaps just me and other people that I know, are realizing that we can also move into those dimensions where we have a different perspective. And it seems to be a skill or a talent we're beginning to learn to move into the different dimensions. Is that,
Yes.
yes, is that something that we will get better at as a human race?
Yes. The Earth, the universe that the Earth is a part of, is moving through a period. It's moving through a component, an aspect of the solar system that has different energetic vibration that has ever been experienced on the Earth before.
Mm-hmm.
And as an example, it is if you are driving and then you drive through a tunnel, through a mountain. This is similar to the experience of moving through this particular aspect of the solar system. It is like a mountain. It is a very strong energy.
Mm-hmm.
It is a very imposing energy. But as you imagine, inside a mountain is a very quiet space. It is an energy that is representative of introspection.
Mm-hmm.
As you begin to move through this energy, as you start to feel it coming closer and closer, this is the period in which humanity is now finding itself in this dimension. It is approaching the mountain tunnel, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. And is that what they're so this being able to move into a different dimension, is that part of the, well, it's a shifting of the frequency. Is it necessarily a raising of your frequency?
Yes,
I'm
it
thinking of it
is.
as
It
it's
is
relating
akin
to
to the.
humans quickening, you know?
It is akin to the experience of turning towards the light, the unified light. It is the akin to the experience of turning away from fractalization towards unification.
Yes. Yes.
And that is within self.
Yes. And just as we put in lay terms, releasing those beliefs that no longer serve you, or the judgment that, rise above the judgment, just be self love and accepting. And that helps you with your unification. Is that correct?
Yes, unification is self love.
Yes, very good. Very good. So
The
is there,
more one begins to see and accept the fractals of themselves, accept the different aspects of themselves, allow those different aspects of themselves to be expressed without shame, even for others to see. The different sides of themselves, the different moods of themselves, as they begin to allow those to be expressed without judgment.
Mm-hmm.
This is the process of unification. This is the process of self-love.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Every aspect of self is an emanation of the one source of light, and therefore is equally valid
Mm-hmm.
and equally beautiful and equally worthy of acceptance and expression.
Yes, very good. So, does Ava need this moving into this dimension? Has that cleared the issues that she wanted to address today?
It is a layer of it.
Mm-hmm. Is there more work that I can help Ava with to release some of these beliefs and trauma? Or has that been, I know you said her trauma has been removed.
Yes, through the calibration process,
Very
the
good.
cells of old memories, the cells that have already decayed have been released.
Yes.
She will need some time to process so that the physical body can catch up.
Very good. Very good. And so, this mantis aspect of Ava, is she able to access the knowledge and the skill set of this mantis as her
Yes,
as her human self?
yes, she has already been accessing it.
She's aware
She
of that.
can, she has a crystal mantis skull. She can sit with it, meditate with it, peer into it, do ceremonies with it. It is not necessary to do, but it is a tool that she can use.
Very interesting. And are the mantis, where do they originate? Do they have a planet that they originate?
Between Andromeda and Sirius,
Mm-hmm.
there are outposts, there are many mantis beings in many universes. Mantis beings are travelers by nature and have settled in many places.
Mm-hmm.
These beings that are between Andromeda and Sirius are the ones that Ava has been connecting with.
Yes.
But there are many, many all over the multiverse.
Understandably. Have mantis beings incarnated on Earth? Well, that's an
Yes,
aspect, yes. So they've had, or an
yes.
aspect of them would be
Ava,
on Earth, just like Ava's on Earth, right? Yes.
Ava is an incarnation,
Mm-hmm. Yes, right there in front of us.
mantis being.
Very good.
She she is not a mantis being, but
Mm-hmm.
through a parallel version, she there the concept of time is a construct of the earthly plane.
Yes.
It is necessary for the earthly plane. But these beings, these different versions of self, all exist now.
Yes.
There is no past or future life. It is
Yes.
all now lives,
I agree with that.
parallel lives.
I know we've called it past lives, and it's not past lives. It's all happening at the same time.
Yes, it is past life because it makes it easy for the human mind to understand that conceptualization of it. And
Yes.
it is very valid.
Puts the time construct in it. So does Ava have, so you said Ava has access to the knowledge of the mantis. And does she also have access to the knowledge of the healer
Yes.
we've done today? Yes.
Yes, she will enhance that knowledge. She will forge a great connection, co-creation with that knowledge in being in that part of the world
Beautiful.
as
Beautiful.
she forms a connection with the earth there, as she creates a sacred connection with the earth there. By
Yes.
being surrounded by the jungle, she will form a much deeper connection with the energy of Kulkulkan. She will also form great connections with that energy and related energies in the ancient Maya sites and temples.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And then she will express that energy in her art.
Yes.
Yes. Are there any other um, lifetimes that she needs to see at this time? Would you like me to take her into another lifetime that would benefit her in her decisions and her journey she's taking right now?
No,
Okay. Yes, this has been very powerful. So,
not yet. These, what she has received
mhm, yeah,
is what she has been needing for now.
very good. So, are we complete?
Yes.
Very good. How about that?
That was interesting.
See, what's your connection you remember with the mantis? For you to have a mantis skull, that must be something you relate to, huh?
Yeah. Um, so I had a visitation by a mantis before.
You
It
did?
was, yeah, it was holographic, so it wasn't like a physical, like I can physical body, but I saw like holographic image of a few beings in kind of like a meditative ceremony that I was doing. And I can't, there were three beings, but the two that stood out very like, firstly was the mantis being, because I was so taken aback by almost initially frightful of like you see a being that's that large and is a mantis, which is the most formidable hunter that we have in the insect realm. So it was kind of scary and frightful. So there was a mantis and there was a gray. And I don't remember what the other being was, but I feel like it's probably a reason why I don't remember. But those two beings I specifically remember having a connection with. And then after I had that experience, I went to a expo. It's kind of like the Conscious Life Expo, but this was an expo that I was doing in Vegas that I found out about, and I had my booth there and everything. And I met this guy who channels the mantis beings. Before this, I had never even heard of mantis beings. And so I met this guy and he like channels the mantis being. And as soon as I saw him, I was like, oh, we need to talk because I've just had an experience with the mantis being. And he also is the only person that I know of. I don't know if there's any other person, but has created crystal skulls from mantis beings. So I can show you. I have one right here on my desk. This is the one that I got from him.
Look at that.
And I
That's
can't
awesome.
remember. This is green chrysolite.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Look
this is
at
what,
that.
so he sells different versions of these skulls.
Yes. And can I just say, not everybody would be attracted to that artwork. So that's so interesting that
Yeah.
that you were, and then here you have a version of yourself. Yes.
Yeah.
So what did it feel like? What did it feel like in the chamber when you were getting changed, the upgrade you were getting?
Um, how do I describe it? It almost feels like somebody's taking you and going like this. I felt like I was being like on almost like on a a roller coaster ride. You know, those roller coaster rides where you're kind of just going around a central point. So initially it felt like that around the planet. So a little bit unsettling. And then in addition to that, I had the sensation of like feeling like I was being, I don't know, like as if somebody was taking my bed and just shaking it like this. So it was not the most comfortable feeling, but just breathing through it was fine. And then it started to get less and less intense in the undulation.
Yeah, and you said you were feeling something in your stomach and your torso as that was happening.
Yeah, well, it initially felt like pressure, and I think it was because of the fact it's like simulating this. If you've ever been on one of those rides, you feel a lot of pressure because you like it's the pressure of gravity that's pushing against you through the movement.
Yeah,
So
very
it felt,
cool.
but it wasn't as intense as like a roller coaster ride, but it had it kind of had that same similar feeling.
How about your healer and the Kulkulkan energy? What was he like? Did you
Um,
connect with him? What did you feel when you were in front of him?
you know, now that you say that, what's really interesting is because I've had experiences where I've experienced other versions of my lives as healers. What's interesting about him is he felt very warrior-like in a way,
Hmm.
um, which makes sense that I would be tapping into this type of energy because the masculine energy in my life, my grandfather, my father, has always been very passive. So I think having like a very strong, like alpha male connection, it's probably something that I've been needing, wanting, desiring. So I found that interesting because I have had experiences as a male healer, but they've all been very, I wouldn't say they've had a much softer energy. He didn't have a very soft energy, but it was a very loving energy. But it was interesting. It was a very like firm masculine energy.
I want to show you something. When I have a session with somebody, I've got three stones that I always am instructed to have in front of me, and I put them next to my heart. So I have the green one and the pink one and the blue one. And I was picking up the green one for you, and they were like, no, she needs the blue one. And for me, the blue one represents masculine energy, and the
Interesting.
pink one is feminine energy. And I'm thinking she needs to work on feminine energy. And they're like, no, she needs the blue. She needs the masculine energy. So that's very powerful that you see that and you say that because I have chills and that's what I got is that same realization that you've just come across. So that interesting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes, and that makes a lot of sense to me because something that's also been coming up for me recently is stability. So I think I may have mentioned this, like the idea of feeling like I have to put roots in a particular place is like if I don't, the belief, if I don't, then I'm not a stable person. Right. So it makes sense that it's the masculine energy because it's like finding that stability within me. It's drawing on because the masculine energy is about like stability, order.
That's interesting. But the other thing I think is interesting is that you were saying when you go to Yucatan, that this place where you live now has given you a certain level. But then when you get over there, you're going to have a much deeper grounding level and get to know yourself better. So
Yeah.
there's your roots that you'll be putting in to do your deep work to get your stability. It's
Yeah.
very
Interesting.
powerful. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very powerful.
What it felt like he was showing me is that so he's not tied to the earth like humans are. So he's not tied to his planet. It's like his existence is on his ship, which is part of his consciousness, and he's able to travel and move. And it's like that's what the ship is what grounds him, and he goes and he explores the multiverse. Um, and he doesn't have his light is not moving through the crystalline nature of Earth like humans are. That is not the experience that he's chosen to have.
Hmm.
So he's not experiencing that fractalization. in the way that humans are experiencing it. But, and because of that, the connection to him is helpful because it can help if, as I connect with that energy, as I connect with the mantis energy, every time that I do that, I'm gaining tools to help me shift my perspective towards unified light, because that is the energy that they hold. They exist in the unified light.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's so interesting and fascinating at the same
Yeah.
time. Very
Yeah.
good. Very good.
Yeah. It was also just the ship was so interesting. It was like a living being, animal, but it didn't look like an animal, but when it moved, it looked like an animal. It was this strangest, but also most awesome thing I've ever experienced.